and welcome back to the Ohio Podcast Show. I'm the delicious Nicolicious. I'm joined here with Rob Diggity Dog.
Hey, as always.
Rob Dog, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you today, Nick?
I'm doing my 50s radio voice. How do you like it?
I like it pretty well.
My wife likes it when I talk to her like this in the bedroom. Sometimes I whisper it into her hind end. She really enjoys it. How do you enjoy it?
What a lady. I like that.
She's a lady. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you being here.
Tons.
We appreciate you giving us the time of day.
It's rough.
It is rough.
It's a rough life.
We put our podcast out on Mondays to try and make things better for you. Try and make things light, funky, and fresh because we're up in here cashing checks, snapping necks. We're slinging pills and paying bills in here, you know what I mean?
It's what we do.
It's what we do. And we are rated G, so if you do have your kids in the room, keep them in the room.
Turn it up.
Please turn it up. They're going to have a lot of issues when they get older if you've let them fucking children listen to us.
That's a complete lie, by the way.
And we got an awesome, we are NSFW. I think that's what it says on explicit. We had an iTunes review today. It said, this is the worst fucking thing your kids could ever listen to. But I love you and I need you.
Okay, I was going to say, was it a 1-star?
No, it was a 5-star.
Okay, well, thank you if you left that.
Yeah, we got all kinds of... But
if it was a 1-star, fuck you.
Right. No. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
This episode is going to be about the Cecil Hotel in California.
Or Skid Row.
This is an episode where one of our Patreon subscribers, they join the $50 club, so that way they get to pick their own episode topic, long as it isn't a big ball of shit, and we agree to it. And this one's coming to you from Julie Ho. Thank you, Julie Ho.
We're not being improper.
Nope.
Or derogatory.
That's what her Facebook says. Is Julie Ho, and that's what it says on our Patreon. So, Julie Ho, it is. And I told her, I said, hey, we're gonna call you. We're gonna call you and talk to you. If you stick around, hopefully she can take our phone call, and we'll get to talk to her for a few minutes. We have a few things to cover right here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to our new Patreon pledgers.
Oh, thank you guys.
Ashley Lucas. Ashley, I think he's from Great Britain. Or possibly Wales. I'm not sure. There's a fucking difference. Okay. Those are not all the same thing.
I didn't know that.
Maybe Sweden. I know he's from a foreign country, but he bought our shirts off of Threadless. You can buy our shirts. We got a new shirt design at brohiopodcast.threadless.com.
It's pretty spicy.
Go check that out. There's aliens with a butt funnel. There's JFK. He's wearing a Marilyn Monroe shirt. There's Bill Wilkins.
Everybody's favorite.
Sitting in a chair.
Spooky ghost.
Not sure if he's going to be here today. I did light a candle. Not sure. We don't know about Bill. But actually, he bought our shirts, and he's fucking wearing them. He's like on the other half of the world, just wearing a Bro Ohio shirt.
That's what's up.
I
Represent.
have no idea how this happened, Rob.
No, I don't either. It's been a crazy ride.
I have really bad credit, and I probably haven't changed my underwear in 3 days. How is this happening?
I don't know. I ask you that all the time. Like, it's so weird.
Why me?
Yeah. What are we doing with our lives?
Right. And also, thank you to Gilbert Alvarez. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Gil Billy. Also, Mandy Reaper. Mandy Reaper, she's exceptionally active on the Instagram. She's always talking to us, letting us know what's up. Thank you, Mandy, for your Patreon pledge.
Thank you very much.
And we got a pledge from Brooke. That's all it says is Brooke.
Maybe it's Brooke Hogan.
It is Brooke Hogan. That's what I'm feeling right now. But she's pledging. She's only going by the first name, and she's Brooke.
Thank you.
Also, Jackie Wyatt. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
And we got one from Connor motherfucking Mead. That's what his Patreon says. And
good name.
So the thing about Connor is, in one of there's a $100 club, and I made it out of mockery because I didn't think anybody would join it. This guy joined the $100 club.
No way.
Yeah, and it says, if you join the $100 club, there's a VHS tape of Rob and I having sex in high school that we'll send to you, which is not true.
He's slinging that big dick.
Right. It's not true. There's no tape that's like that, but
I guess we got to make one now.
He still wants it.
We got to make one.
Yeah. So get comfortable, Rob. Sorry. Yeah. I get the old VHS out and we'll get this taken care of.
I'm a topper. I just want to say that.
Yes. Yay.
It's perfect combination. Before we get into our next little announcement here, I do want to say, I just realized after listening back to this that I'm definitely chomping down on a mint here pretty hard a few minutes ago. So
Fuck you.
It's smacking up against my teeth.
You don't care.
So I apologize about that, guys.
It's all right.
I'm an inconsiderate piece of shit.
That's not the only thing that's me smacking up against your teeth.
Ooh, hey.
Jesus, try me.
But hey, on that note, guess what, guys? We have a live show coming up here, April 14th. It is at Roosters in Milford, Ohio. It's going to be a glorious time.
It is. There's not many tickets left.
No.
So if I were you and you were me, that means I'd be you and you'd be me, and I'd be buying some fucking tickets.
Yeah, get on that. This is the bad boys of Bomb Pod and Tracy.
Yeah, we're going to be with Hillbilly Horror Stories.
Hillbilly Horror Stories and mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, with Justin Rimmel.
Old Justin Rimmel.
Both phenomenal podcasts.
Yes, check them out if you haven't yet.
Tickets are only $10. Just do a Google search, Eventbrite, Ohio, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. I think there's about 20, maybe there's less than that left. But
yeah, just cut into your anal lube supply for a day and,
yeah,
you got money for a ticket.
Oh, yeah. And next here, we had a band reach out to us on Instagram. The name of their band is Mangana. You can check them out on Instagram at Mangana Band. This song here is called Petty Frog. I like it.
I do too.
I dig it. If you make music, send it to us. We'll play it. We'll plug your shit.
We're friends.
We'll plug all your shit. We'll plug everybody's shit. But this is the Mangana Band. That's Mangata. They're touring. They're hitting bars. They're going across the United States. This is their new single, Petty Frog. And there's a website called Bandcamp, I think, and you can check out all their music. You can buy their album for like $5. Go support indie music, man. I love it.
Me too.
I love people reaching out to us about this stuff. We're here to have fun.
We're here to party.
We're here to show people how hairy our balls are and to have fun.
Well,
and I do got a story for you here, Rob, before we get into our scary, spoopy stuff here.
Story away, man.
But this one's from Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. This story is about a man named Shane Brennan. He's 38 years old. He said he began speaking to the woman who said had a man body on the platform where she told him, "I'm horny. Will you fuck me?" Yeah. This is what we're dealing with right now.
Okay. I'm all about her so far.
The father of three from Wollongong, south of Sydney, said he agreed to have her perform the sex act on him. But their late morning liaison was captured on CCTV, and staff were waiting for the pair when the train pulled up to Wollongong railway station. Staff reported finding a large and disgusting liquid mess on the floor, which they originally thought was urine, but turned out to be shit. No, it was not shit. But Brennan explained it was cola that he'd had to use to clean himself up with.
Oh, man.
Have you ever had just the nastiest sex ever that you had to use Coca-Cola Classic and Pepsi Cherry to clean your wiener off with because it stunk so bad? That's what he's dealing with right now.
I can't imagine.
That's the nastiest thing. He told officers, "I was rinsing my cock off," according to, oh my God, I don't know this.
Let's not even say
Iowara Mercury. He told the Daily Mail he now regrets his actions after receiving a bollocking from a magistrate. Bollocking. Is that like getting kicked in the nuts? Similar? I don't know. I've never been to Australia, but I think that has something to do with a koala bear just latching down on the tip of your penis. I'd have to imagine that's what it is.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and the magistrate having the encounter written up in the regional newspaper and feared his partner may find out.
Sneaky little shit.
Son of a bitch.
They're going to find out. Just don't do it.
As soon as the deed was done, I was out of there and off. I didn't know they had cameras and all throughout the train. The woman who is known to police confirmed Brennan's story. Brennan said no one was in the carriage during the 9:56 a.m. service, and their tryst was over within minutes. You fucking pussy ass bitch.
Good for him. You go, dude.
Yeah. I like to get in there and get out. You know what I mean? That's what they expect of me. I just get all up in it and I get out. How can you be so lucky and unlucky in one day, he asked. You'd think the train guard would have said, "Go on, you mate." How many fucking men would have knocked it back? I probably, as a married, loyal man, I would have said, "Take that shit on down the road." But if I was in Australia, I think I might do it just for the hell of it. Just try it.
Fuck a koala bear?
A kangaroo, preferably.
Okay.
Something more my size. Koala bear would make me feel icky.
Koala bears
They're too little.
Yeah, they're little, they're feisty little shits, though.
You ever step on a koala bear before?
No.
Me neither.
Can't say I have.
Right.
They don't hang out around Ohio too much.
When we go to zoos and stuff, I fucking hiss at everything like I'm a bobcat and get some weird looks. But it's what I do. It's who I am. I'm the delicious Nicolicious. That's what I do. And if you are sensitive to murders, suicides, that type of stuff, that's what this episode is going to be about.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in this
Cecil Hotel is a terrible place where terrible things have happened. If you are dealing with suicide in your life, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. And with that being said, I hope that's nothing that any of you are dealing with. But I just want to put that out there because we're going to be talking a lot about suicide this episode. So,
or, just hit us up. We'll talk to you.
Right, because
we're here.
I work a really fucked up work schedule and I'm up all the time. I write people back at 2:30 in the morning. They say, hey, why are you writing me back? And I say, hey, because I'm up and I love you. I genuinely love you. I understand that I've never met you, but I want to be intimate with you. And just because you listen to my podcast.
Yeah.
And
you have a nice butt.
Right. We are at the beginning of our story here. But like I said, you can join us on Patreon. This is a $50 episode from Julie Ho. You can join us on Patreon for $5 a month. That unlocks Bro Talk. And the new habit of Bro Talk, I think, is we're just going to fucking randomly call our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, it's a free form, so we don't have any subject matter. We're just kind of going. We're just talking, and it's just me and him.
So much fun, and we're going to talk to Julie Ho later on in this episode. You can go to patreon.com/Brohio podcast, and we also we plead for your 5-star reviews on iTunes reviews. It helps make the world go round for us. Helps us to be seen by people that wouldn't normally see us because. In terms of, podcasts, when you look over the trailer park where the septic tank's broke and there's like shit all over the floor, that's where Brohio's at. That's us. We're not up there with the serials and, the Joe Rogans. We're right there where the septic tank, where the pipe burst loose and there's poo going all over the place.
We frequent that area.
We try our best.
Yeah.
And if you get too close, you're going to step on a dirty syringe.
We don't aim too high.
Right. And speaking of dirty syringes, you can join our closed group, the Brohio Butt Chuggers Anonymous. There's a super secret word to get in.
That's a transition right there.
It's my name's Bill Wilkins. That's your hint for the clue to get in.
That's a hell of a hint.
Come join the Butt Chuggers. And Rob, let's start our story.
Okay.
Let's go to story time.
Okay.
I just want to tell you a story about a hotel where there's a bunch of monsters and stuff and people playing in the water for too long.
Yeah, it's a crazy hotel, man.
You've probably heard about the story of Elisa Lam.
Yeah, Lam.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
I think it's Elisa.
Elisa?
Yeah.
To respect for her, I'm going to call her Miss Lam.
Miss Lam, that works.
Miss Lam.
Yeah, and if you don't know anything about this, I'm going to jump ahead in your notes a little bit. This is the Cecil actually served pretty much as inspiration for American Horror Stories 5th season, The Hotel.
I know that's a really good show, but I've never watched it.
That season was really good.
Really? So, yeah, I know Kathy Bates is in it.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's a nasty bitch.
Lady Gaga was in that one too.
I have a super secret crush on Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She's very special to me.
I like her.
Yes.
She's good people.
And the Cecil Hotel, or the Cecil Hotel, whatever you want to call it, it was built in 1927. And at the time, it was described as a classy joint because there was fucking carpet on everything.
Yeah, it was fancy.
I don't know why that makes something super special or not, but I like little carpet. I like if the carpet matches the drapes, even better. You feel me, Rob?
No carpet at all.
Oh no! What? That's a thing. That's a thing. Oh, like hardwood floors and stuff.
That's the way I like my carpet. Tiles.
I got you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And the Cecil Hotel is situated in the Skid Row area of Los Angeles.
Yeah, it wasn't Skid Row, obviously, whenever it was built, but it eventually became Skid Row. The Great Depression fucked things up for there.
I didn't know a lot about Skid Row until we started this story.
It's horrible, man.
There's like
40% of the local residents of that area are below poverty.
Oh, good. That seems nice. That seems like a really good area to flourish and do a lot of
raise children
things. Yeah.
You could always have a drug hookup though anywhere.
Jesus God. And the thing about Skid Row is there's current like lawsuits and whatnot going on. They're kind of done now, but the fucking hospitals and the police departments,
oh man,
they would pick up people that weren't even on Skid Row, like downtown Los Angeles, and they would just dump them in Skid Row. And people that were in the hospital that they didn't have anywhere to go, they were done treating them, and they didn't have anything to do with them. They would just take them over to Skid Row and open up the door and put a foot in their ass and shove them out the door.
And not even like hospitals, even like mental institutions. If they didn't have any way to pay or couldn't continue being a patient.
So you're really setting the scene for a wonderful place.
Oh, absolutely.
Location. I think that's what they say in the veterinary business. Wikipedia. Yeah, I looked at Wikipedia, guys. Relax, okay? I'm a lazy researcher. Wikipedia says as many as 10,000 homeless people live within 4 miles of the hotel.
Whew.
And the shit-stained balls thing about this hotel is half of it's been rebranded as the Stay on Main, I think.
Stay on Main, yeah.
It's no longer the Cecil Hotel.
But it's still the Cecil Hotel.
Yes. The terrible thing is half of it is you and I could walk up and get a room, but then the other half of it is for extended stay subsidized housing. So you can stay in this hotel for around $450 a month. Sign me the fuck up.
Right.
I'll crash on your couch for $450 a month. So they get a lot of riffraff. You got a lot of drugs around there, a lot of I don't know
sex workers.
I don't know if they like being called hookers.
Yeah.
One time
I knew where you were going with that. So.
This lady was at the gas station one time. She's like eating a ice cream sandwich, and she was really nasty with it. And she's like, "Hey, baby, you trying to give me a cigarette?" I said, "What? Are you a hooker?" She said, "What the?" She got really upset because I asked her if she was a hooker, and I did not give her a ride. I gave her a short trip to Pound Town, but I did not give her a ride to where she wanted to go.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I made that up. The locals there, the hobos, the homeless people, they don't call it the Cecil, they just call it the Suicide. Yeah. That's their nickname for this place. And it's
very an ominous nickname.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, we're not going to cover all the suicides from this place.
We'll talk about a lot of them, but it's a lot of the same things kind of. Yes. But it's rough. It's definitely has a dark history.
Yeah, and we're not going to cover all. There's a lot of murders there as well. It just seems like a really nice place. If your husband is being a fucking dickhead, or if your wife, she's talking back a lot,
throw her out a window.
You just take her to the Cecil and woo, let her go.
We got a couple serial killers that had stays there during their murder sprees. It's a good time.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about the Cecil that small things that might not be the forefront because all of the heavy hitter stuff that's happened there, but we're going to cover some of this early on stuff for you. And I'm going to start in 1934. This wasn't the first one, but this is the first one that caught my eye. I said, whoa, this is kind of a terrible story. In July 1934, there's a 53-year-old former Army Med Corps Sergeant, Louis Borden. He slit his own wrist with a razor in his room at the Cecil Hotel. He left several suicide notes behind for loved ones. In them, he said he took his own life due to poor health. And I looked him up. All the stories seem to coincide with one another, that this is the exact reason why he killed himself. And I'm going to jump ship to the paranormal aspect of this place real quick, because you got all these suicides. Julie did some research for us about the paranormal aspect. I couldn't find anything, but she did dig up some stuff. They say that a lot of times when you're walking through there, you'll hear a man and a woman talking behind closed doors, and then there's no one there. Some of the other things they'll hear, there's a lot of sightings of apparitions around there. There was a kid that he captured a picture. You can find it pretty readily available on the YouTubes there.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's an apparition of to me, it looks like a guy hanging out of a window like he's getting ready to jump to his death. He's halfway hanging out, but he's definitely a ghost. He's not a full person.
Right. Transparent and everything.
And Rob and I just looked at it. You can kind of almost see his head and his arm, like the entire right side of his body just hanging out like he's about to just let it all go.
Right, just about to jump.
Right.
There's also, the story from that was told by a daughter who's telling like her dad's experience there, where he claims that he'd went to sleep in his room that night and he was woken up to the feeling of being choked. So he got cold sweat and couldn't move or call for help. So, and he felt hands around his throat but couldn't see anyone. So he thought he was going to die in that room.
Naturally.
So finally, the feeling ended up leaving him. So he bolted the hell out of that room, went downstairs to the front desk, and after he gasped for breath, he told the clerk, what what he thought had happened, and the clerk said that someone had been murdered in that room.
Yeah, you're going to need to switch rooms.
So he, of course, was able, to get his room changed and made it clear that he was never going to sleep another moment in that room, which I don't blame him at all.
And I did a lot of research on with like psychics and mediums as far as what happens to someone in the afterlife when they commit suicide.
Yeah, we've talked about this before too.
Right. I hate to call them this, but the thing about people that commit suicide, they kind of, in some instances, according to the psychics and the mediums and the clairvoyants, they refuse to go to the light due to, I guess, fear and shame, because what they did, they regret what they did.
Right.
They know they're letting certain people in their life down, which always, anytime someone takes their own life, you're letting everybody down when that happens. You're going to be missed.
Yeah, it's sad.
They don't want to be judged. They think if they cross over that they're not going to make it into heaven, if that's what they believe, because they took their own life. They attach themselves to certain family members, and then the others, some of the other people that have committed suicide, they realize they made a mistake, so they make desperate attempts to get back into their bodies. That's kind of crazy to me.
It is really sad. We've talked about, I think, in other episodes where another really big thought is that, when someone dies unexpectedly or in some type of a traumatic way, that it pretty much leaves your spirit like attached to that area.
Right.
Because you're looking for, a lot of times you don't know it's going to happen or that it happened. Like if you were murdered or something like that.
Right.
And you just kind of have like an attachment there until you can be normal, like put to rest.
Yeah.
How you should have been.
And some of the stuff I read, these people that commit suicide in the afterlife, they just think, hey, this is not the right decision for me. At that point, it's a little too late, but then they don't cross over. They use that energy to kind of stay around, and that stuff is completely cool to me. It's so awesome that,
yeah, there's a lot of stories that I've heard from jumpers where they'll jump off of, like, the people that have survived, like jumping off of bridges and things.
Right.
Like the second they jump, like they
instant regret.
Yeah. They think that, beforehand, like their life's never going to get better. They have to do it. And then once they do it, they're like, okay, I want to live.
It's so sad, man.
It's horrible.
That's some heavy shit.
Horrible.
We're going to move on to the next story here. In March of 1937, a Grace Margot, she fell from a window, and no one knows how it happened. News reports say the telephone wires ripped from the poles in her descent and were entangled about her body.
Yeah, so whenever she jumped, she jumped a little bit farther out, and from where the phone lines were running from pole to pole, she ended up in those phone lines and was pretty much wrapped around her.
God damn, but the thing was, her boyfriend, a 26-year-old sailor from the USS Virginia, was said to be asleep in the room during the murder or the suicide. He said he was just sleeping and he didn't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, so there's a chance that he could have pushed her, or she could have jumped or fell out. They really don't know what happened there.
Yeah, and we see this all the time, that police just, I don't know, it's because we cover weird cases, but they just are really good at dropping the fucking ball. Especially in these older tales, these older stories.
Right.
They just fucking suck. It's like they went down to, like, the dumpster somewhere and said, hey, you guys pissing on the wall over there, you want a job? We can give you a job. Follow us. Put this belt on. You'll do all right. You'll be a good police officer. But we back the blue here at the Bro High Podcast.
Absolutely.
We love our officers. You guys are better now than you were 1,000 years ago. I promise you that. And a lot of suicides that I've read about this place, they're all conducted by means of poison.
Yeah, a lot of poison capsules.
A lot. And I don't know.
I think this was an older thing. I saw whenever I was researching, a lot of those happened in like the 30s, 40s, something like that. The years,
Right.
So,
but my thing is, how do you get poison? Like,
I don't know.
Where do you go to the pharmacy? Like, I've got a really, really big rat, and he clogged my toilet, and I need to kill it. So, give me the best poison you got.
Got any of those cyanide tablets?
Yeah, I don't want any poison. I just want some pseudoephedrine so I can cook some meth.
Man, I feel like the poison would be a horrible way to go too.
That would hurt so bad.
You would feel it the entire time.
That would hurt so bad, right down there where your green beans are. That would hurt so bad. And I was talking today with some guys at work. They said, as long as you can keep like your core like your intestines, your digestion, you can keep that stuff straight, you're going to live a long life. And I know people that have like gastroenteritis or diverticulitis, and oh my God, just the pain associated with that stuff. I would not take poison.
I bet it's horrible.
I would take a steak knife and shove it straight up my ass, and that's how I would die. I probably wouldn't kill me though.
There's a good tangent for you. There's a good off the rail.
Yeah, the steak knife would just be like, I'm not touching anything.
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Yeah, you want me to hurt you, but I'm not touching any of your skin in here. Like, it's really, really big in here. Sorry, guys.
It's very cavernous. Another thing, not even the hotel, like getting into the couple of these other ones. Another thing that I noticed is that a lot of the surrounding buildings got shit on because of this hotel. Yeah. There was 1938, a Marine fireman, his name was Roy Thompson. He was actually found dead in the skylight of a building next door.
Oh, no.
Obviously, he was a jumper. He jumped from his window. And then there's another one.
The thing is, these people might not have been jumpers. This might have been fucking parkour at its infancy stage. These guys thought they had good knees, good ankles. They had top of the line equipment. They're parkouring up there on the roof.
Crazy shit.
They fucking step on some hobo shit and they slip and they fall out of their window, fall into a skylight. And here we are telling their story, almost 100 years later.
Yeah. And then you got the other the really crazy sad one that we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah. Then I'll tell you that one right now.
Yeah, go for it.
September of 1944, a teenage mother by the name of Dorothy Jane Parcell threw her newborn son out the window, and the baby was found on top of a building next door.
She was 19. I think I don't know if you said that or not. She was youngin'.
Yes, she was a teen. She was a teen mom.
Yeah.
I love that show. Those bitches, fucking goddamn. We've grown up with them. Like,
hey.
They're the same age, and they've been on TV for like 10 years, and they're just a complete and utter shitstorm, and I love it. I love it. She was Dorothy Jean. She was shacked up with a 38-year-old shoe salesman.
He's a winner.
Named Ben Levine. He was the grandfather of Adam Levine. God
damn it.
It was in LA, man. It's possible. I like to spread fake news and shit. You heard it at the Brohio podcast first. They went to sleep and she woke up suffering from stomach pains and felt like she needed to take the most monstrous shit anyone has ever taken in the history of the world. So she went to the bathroom and she delivered the baby by herself and thought it was dead. So she...
First instinct.
I think she tried to flush it first. Probably.
And then she just chucked it out the window.
There's probably some new people listening to us like,
I was okay with what they were saying at first, but I draw the line at dead fucking babies.
We haven't made fun of the baby.
No.
We're not making. That's very sad.
It's horribly sad. And
if the baby was a stillborn,
we're dads. So I mean, yeah,
we are dads. Rob, his two kids are three kids. Two of his kids are mine.
Okay,
one is his own, and then one of my kids is his, and two of mine are really mine.
Yeah, we swap them around.
It's a weird thing. It works out though.
It's a baby rodeo.
That's kind of like I have 3 girls and Rob has 3 boys. So if you had a 4th boy, you would probably think about just giving it away.
Yeah.
Craigslist that bitch somewhere. How much money is a kid worth on Craigslist?
I don't know. I feel like on Craigslist they probably lowball.
Yeah,
10 grand maybe.
I know you're asking 12,000, but I got this trailer with a serial number grinded off, and I could probably make it work for you.
Sold.
Yeah, you can find me in the Casual Encounters ad if that's what you're looking to do. What's her name? Dorothy Jean. She was charged with homicide, but she was found not guilty to reason of insanity.
Ugh.
And if you think we don't fucking research, I found her on Find a Grave. Okay, did you know Find a Grave is a site?
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Look at anyone that's fucking, for the most part, anyone that's buried in the United States, you can look them up, and 95% of the time, there's a picture of their headstone accompanied with it. You can look it up by county, by state, by locale. All kinds of cool search options. That's like Find a Grave. She eventually moved to Oregon. She died just in the year 2000, so not that long ago.
And I don't know if you said it or not. I don't remember, but yeah, whenever they found the baby on top of the next door building. I don't know if it was the same building where the guy ended up in the skylight or not, but if it was or if it wasn't, these buildings, I mean, these other ones have came through some shit too.
Could you imagine, like, Rob's job involves being on top of roofs sometime? Could you imagine being on the roof of a building and
I don't know.
And a fucking baby walks by in its diaper?
Dude, what's even more crazy is when you get to these other stories about like the pedestrians that see the jumpers.
Yeah, fucks them up, man.
Yeah, this is a good segue to the next ones, which is the one big one which I have is Helen Gurney.
Take it.
Yeah, October 1954, Miss Helen Gurney, she jumps from the window of her 7th floor room. So that's, about 70 feet up?
Right, parkour.
Yeah, she lands on the entrance marquee of the Cecil Hotel, right above pedestrians. Yeah, so we're talking about people just walking down the street that see this happen. So her room number that she jumped from, which was 704, this is actually, a popular request for people. They want to stay there, because they think they may see something spoopy.
Right, moving, and there for a while it was kind of free reign. You could walk in. They had a lot of homeless people that would come in and steal a continental breakfast. Get some bagels, have some orange juice,
get you some cereal.
They were okay with that, but then once this American Horror Story thing happened, they said, no, fuck this, and they locked the door, and you can't even get into this fucking place anymore. They got to buzz you in. It's like locked up. Like Fort Knox and shit. So that's what fame does for you. It ruins everything
every time. Do you have the story about the other one, the pedestrian story? Pauline Otten, I think it is.
Probably do somewhere.
Let's check it.
All right, I found her here. Pauline Otten. She was arguing with her husband. They were no longer together, but they were still married. Let me tell you something.
Good old estrangement.
If you are fucking not with your spouse anymore, and you go and stay in a hotel together, that's going to end in a bad night. That's just...
Someone's going to fly out of a window.
I don't know. Let's lead a little further down the line.
Hey, this was in 62. There's plenty of times went by for me to make that joke.
Yes, and her husband's name was Dewey.
Well...
That is the coolest name ever.
Dewey.
Dewey's a cool nickname, but this guy was legit named Dewey.
OG Dewey.
I like that sometimes people, you ask him, hey, can you give me a ride? No, man, it's got Dewey. got my third Dewey. Lots of Deweys over the weekend, I'm sure, chasing leprechauns and shit. Dewey went out on the town, and Pauline decided it was time to meet Jesus. She jumped from the 9th floor window, but this bitch didn't just fuck herself up on this one.
No, she didn't, poor pedestrian.
Yes. Walking below was a 65-year-old George Giannini. And he was down below, minding his own business.
It started raining people.
Looking at tunes on his Zune. He had his Bluetooth in. He was getting ready to make some calls to China.
1962.
About a mail order bride.
He's a time traveler.
He was a time traveler. This is the Brohio Podcast Show. Everyone's a time traveler.
Yes.
The fall indeed killed both, but she fell out of the fucking, she jumped and she landed on this poor fucker.
This is the 9th floor, so she's even higher than the other one.
Right. So they initially thought that this was dual jumpers.
Yeah.
They jumped together.
Like a suicide pact.
But then they realized that the old man still had his hands in his pockets and his shoes were still on.
Yeah.
Because you take such a violent impact when you jump from that distance.
Your shoes are going into orbit.
Your shoes come off. Just keep that in mind. If any of you guys out there got the fucking Space Jam Jordans,
take those off beforehand.
You jump and I see it, I'm taking them motherfuckers when they come off. Or the red and black flu game Jordans.
The red and black ones were tight.
I had those. I cut grass
all
summer long. No, I cut grass all summer long to be able to afford them.
Oh, okay.
And I had just enough to buy the kid size. And then I go to the Foot Locker or whatever, and I get there. This is when I'm like, 9 or 10 or something. And I said, I want those. And they said, let's try them on. They put them on. They're like, your foot is way too fucking big. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, you need an adult size. And I said, well, how much more is that? He said, that's $60 more. I said, what the fuck? I've been cutting grass for $10 a lawn all summer long trying to get enough money for this shit. And this fucking guy fucks me.
Dude, those red and black ones were tight. Those
are
the shoes.
I said, give me the shoes. Just give me the fucking shoes. So I took them, and I have China woman feet now. Like those women that bind their feet.
Bind their feet.
Yeah, that's what my feet look like.
That's not a good look. Don't do that.
No. And People like it when I stick my feet in their ass and stuff. I make a lot of money doing that. And on June 4th, 1964, a longtime resident of the hotel named Goldie Osgood was discovered in her room. Her nickname was Pigeon Goldie. You know why?
Oh yeah, she's the Home Alone pigeon lady.
Yes, that's exactly who she was. Yeah. She was always in Pershing Square, where she protected the birds and always fed them. A worker found her dead in her room while they were distributing phone books, but she did not go peacefully, I would like to say. She'd been stabbed, strangled, and raped. Her room was also torn apart and had been ransacked, and it's believed that this was part of like a break and entering gone bad, a little B&E that just, got away from the guy. Got a little excited. He saw old pigeon.
He was turned on by pigeon shit.
Pigeon lady. Yeah. He said, nothing gets me going like the smell of bird shit. Oh, my dick's hard. This is about to happen.
It's so white. So white and creamy.
A short time later, a gentleman named Jacques Ellinger was seen walking through the square she frequented, and he was covered in blood. He had shit-stained fucking...
He had shit-stained blood balls.
He had blood all over his clothes. He was arrested and never charged. No one has been charged in the murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
And one other murder that Rob and I kind of associated to this, we kind of cut it out of our notes, but the Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
It said that she was seen
at the bar.
At the Cecil bar many times before she was
before she was found bisected.
Now here's my thing about the Black Dahlia. I hear it's the most covered podcast topic in the entire world. That
probably
give it a fucking break. Don't do it anymore. It's been done enough. I don't know anything about it. I don't know who she is. I don't know what happened. She was. I know now that she was an actress, but she got cut up. But
we don't. Yeah, we're not.
We're not scientists,
and we're not huge like true crime people. So
we are not. We like aliens.
Yeah, I like the stuff that you can't really believe in.
Yes, kind of like the. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
one elderly female who resided at the Cecil was found drowned. These are other incidents that I have that are kind of smaller incidents, but related to the hotel.
Gotcha.
One elderly female who resided at the Cecil, and when I say resided,
she was like,
you got to remember that for $450 a month, for only one small payment of $450, you can stay at the luxurious Hotel Cecil. She was living there, and she was found drowned in the ocean, and another elderly resident attempted to shoot himself in Westlake Park, and he was living at the old Cecil Hotel as well. A Cecil resident who worked as a cafe manager was at a nearby bar called the Waldorf Cellar. He was shot dead by his childhood best friend, who was the bartender at the Waldorf Cellar.
What a fucking asshole.
As the two engaged in a gun battle.
A gun battle?
Could you? Yeah, I will not.
I challenge you to a duel.
Could you imagine, man, if you were like a bartender and I showed up and like, Rob, let me get some free brewskis. And you're like, no, dude, I'm not doing it. I'm like, I'm going to fucking shoot you. Give me the fucking high life, dude.
I've been pissed off before, but I don't think I've ever been pissed off enough to want to shoot somebody.
I had a lot of fucking moments in this research where I was thinking, I'm looking at all the people that committed suicide, and man, I just don't know how bad things would have to get in your life to where you're just like, I want to die. And that is so sad to me that someone would get to that point where they're just like, I don't want to be on this earth anymore. And
it's crazy.
It's kind of like the thing you just said also. I've never gotten to the point where, well, one time I wanted to kill a guy, but it was, I worked in a prison for fuck's sake, okay? There was a disciplinary camp too. It was the fucking worst humans in the state. There was a few people there I probably would have killed. But I've never been so mad at someone that I just want to kill them, you know? I want you to die. I want you to be off this earth.
Yeah.
It's very sad to think about.
It really is. It's crazy.
It puts a lot in perspective.
Yeah. We're weird. Yes, humans are weird.
We are. We're a terrible, terrible, terrible species.
Yeah.
Also, there's a young truck driver who once had an accident outside the hotel. He was ejected in the crash and fatally pinned between his own truck and the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, God, that sucks.
That makes me think about, what movie is it? Signs, where Mel Gibson's wife dies and she's pinned, but she can. And when
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah. You never seen it?
He's a ghost.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, no, he's not a ghost. That's Sixth Sense.
Oh, that's Sixth Sense. Never mind. I'm getting confused here.
It's a completely different actor too.
It is, isn't it?
I have never been the same since Tom Cruise died in Titanic. It's wrecked my life, ruined me. Ever since Paris Hilton let go of him.
It's been 15 years since I've seen both of those movies, so I kind of attribute it to that.
Dude, I love Signs.
Signs was really good.
Yes, it was good. But his wife, she got pinned, and when someone gets pinned like that, they don't die. They don't bleed out because it pinches everything off.
I was going to make another joke and say Haley Joel Osment was amazing in Signs.
He was. He did a really good job.
He did awesome.
Have you seen him now?
Yeah.
He's the fattest, sloppiest piece of shit. And I can say
Poor
that
guy.
because I lost 11 pounds this week.
Hey.
And I still can't see my dick.
You're getting there. You can see the tip.
I can see my dog's dick. A little red rocket. Gets the old red rocket going.
No wonder why people leave us 1 stars.
But we're gonna switch. Do you have anything else as far as people that have died?
No, nothing worth it.
Nothing. You have nothing to add to this podcast.
Nothing. I'm just here for the to bring up our attractiveness a little bit more.
Yes, I completely agree. When they think about the more handsome of the two, I definitely think it's going your way.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
From the waist down, I'm not attractive there either.
It's like you're staring at 2 turds, but one has peanuts and the other one doesn't.
I think I'll take the really hard one. It doesn't stink anymore.
I'm not in the mood for a soft one.
If he did have to eat shit, though, I think I would pick an old one and not a friend.
It just turned into eating shit. This is the weirdest turn of events.
I gotta go. Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace out.
We're gonna switch gears to the. Sorry, I had to look up how to say her name. We're gonna go with Elisa.
Yeah.
Elisa Lam's to the classroom. You guys listen to country music? That's Elisa Lies, isn't it?
Alyssa Lies. Yeah.
Alyssa Lies.
Yeah,
We're talking about Elisa.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're trying our best here in the Brohio studios for you guys.
We're struggling.
The cat's chasing something around down here.
We're a couple drinks in.
We think it might be a snake. Although I've never seen a snake in my house before. We're just making stuff up.
Yeah.
Elisa Lam, she went missing between January and February of 2013. And Rob just said it. She's the fucking smoking gun of this whole entire Cecil Hotel mishap.
You've probably heard of it, even if you don't know that you've heard of it. It's probably one of those things that you remember hearing about if you were to look at the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, I have no idea who this is. And then once I saw the pictures, I was like, oh shit, I remember all this happening because it was crazy.
Yes, it was. And she
was
was
mysterious.
She was the daughter of immigrants from Hong Kong. She lived in Vancouver, Canada, and she came to the United States for vacation. And of all the places in the entire world, I would not go on vacation. It's the fucking United States of America.
Yeah, so.
Well, we got like chili sauce and hot dogs and stuff. If you like that, we sometimes we got people here that drink so much soda pop they die. They don't do that in China, do they?
Well, I mean, at least though she went to a place like Los Angeles and she
Skid motherfucking Row,
or like New York. Like, I mean, those if you're gonna go to a place, I would say those would probably be the 2 places, or Washington D.C.
Yeah, she was a college student and she took trips all around the United States. Whether it be the she liked the California area. She liked the San Diego Zoo.
Sorry, that was me.
What happened? Oh, okay, you're playing with your beer.
I'm playing with my bottle.
Started to laugh really hard. She was a big fan of traveling around the California area there. And the thing about Elisa, she was unfortunately diagnosed with some mental health issues. She was dealing with depression and bipolar disorder. And if you don't know what bipolar it's when kind of people flip-flop between, I don't want to say person, it's moods.
Extreme emotions.
Yeah, they go from upset to happy to upset to happy. And sometimes you can get medications to help level that stuff out.
That's how I am when I go to a buffet. I'm really happy, and then after I eat my plate, I'm so pissed.
I'm so happy. Now I gotta get back up, and I got a rib bone lot in my fucking asshole. And she's dealing with all this stuff. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about what happened to her and why it happened to her.
It's juicy.
And we're gonna cover it all. In mid-2010, Elisa created a blog named Ether Fields, where over a 2-year period, she would post photos of models, fashion, and periodically post about her struggles with the mental illness. So the thing about she was very upfront and public about with her bipolar disorder and her depression. And that's the thing with these, the way things happen these days, people have the social media stuff. You can go back and learn a lot about people, even if they do pass away. You can see, you get a lot of these manifestos, like Christopher Dorner from that killed the police officers in California. The social media thing it's completely fucking. What if Jeffrey Dahmer had a fucking Facebook?
Oh man,
starving, going out, so hungry. Meet me at Panda Express. Meet me down there, guys. So we're gonna jump to the actual disappearance here of Elisa. On January 31st, 2013, Elisa was reported to have not checked in with her parents, as she was to be checked out of the Cecil Hotel and make her way to Santa Cruz. And apparently she was very close to her parents. She had a very loving relationship. They were constantly talking to one another, and they knew that she had the issues that she had, and they loved, like good parents, they loved to stay in contact with her and see where her travels were taking her.
So it was something out of the normal when she didn't tell them that she checked out and everything.
So they contacted the Los Angeles Police Department and immediately flew down to California from Vancouver. She was reported by people in the area who had run into her as being outgoing, lively, and friendly. The thing about her, whenever she did, the night that she did die, there's closed cameras,
closed circuit cameras, like elevator footage
in the elevator, where she's losing her fucking mind, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, look up the video. It's pretty crazy.
I looked at a lot of pictures of her. She looks like a stewardess or something. She's really happy. Looks like she's really, she's just a beautiful girl,
normal person,
having life. But then you get to some pictures and she's missing her fucking eyebrows and shit. And I'm like, well, this bitch definitely drank the fucking bong water. There's something wrong. Anyone that has their eyebrows shaved, you got to worry about it, man. Or maybe the wax took off on her. I don't know.
It happens.
We've
all been there.
Like I said, I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a historian. I don't know these things. On February 6th, the Los Angeles Police Department put flyers up in the neighborhood and online, bringing more media attention. February 14th is when the elevator video hit. And let me tell you about this elevator
I remember
video.
when that came out.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Right.
Obviously, she's not alive anymore, so we don't know exactly what was going on. So that's where a lot of the conspiracy theories and different angles of what she could have possibly been going through came from. When you're looking at the video, it looks as if she's looking down the hallway and hiding from somebody.
Well, the elevator opens up.
Yeah.
She walks in. She gets really close to the buttons. She starts looking at the buttons.
She's like bent over, pushing buttons.
And she starts pushing all these buttons. The door doesn't close, which is the one thing that the conspiracy theorists point to. Like, why didn't the fucking door close?
Right.
Well, the goddamn place is 100 years old. I don't know why the door didn't close. Maybe she fucked something up because she's standing there pushing all the buttons. She probably pushed an emergency button or something. Who knows? But she's leaned over and she's pushing all these buttons. And she stands up and she kind of walks around, but she keeps on peering out of the elevator like there's someone out there, like there's someone looking for her, like there's someone after her.
Following her, or like she's trying to get away from somebody or something. And then she'll retreat back into the elevator and hide in the corner.
Yes.
And like try to make herself look like if somebody was passing and looking in, they wouldn't be able to see anyone.
Right. And this is the part that makes my fucking hair stand up. She walks out and she kind of kneels over like she's petting an invisible dog. Like she's, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Oh, and we did speak about the Red Rocket earlier, and that's kind of how that happens.
Yeah.
And then she stands up and she starts to contort her hands. And in the video, I don't know if it's because it's laggy. I don't know if it's because it's some cheap fucking closed circuit camera.
It's like 120p. So.
It looks like her fucking hands turned into like giant claws. Like, I can't even explain it, dude. We'll go back and watch it together and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
But
her hands get all contorted and it looks like her fingers go to about a foot long each. Like she's got these demon claws. And that's one of the things that people talk about when they talk about this hotel is when mediums and clairvoyants go through this place, they talk about all of the dark shit that they pick up, how all of these rooms, they just give this like malevolent dark spirit. There's this horrible energy coming from all of it.
Right.
And we've talked about demons. We've talked about sex demons. We've talked about dolphins that fuck you, which is a fucking demon. Look it up. Go to our demons episode. It's sex demons.
Oh, yeah.
It happens. I don't remember his name, but I know he's a dolphin that fucks you.
Yeah, I think Moo read that one.
Yes. She could have been possessed by a demon, and that's why she was kind of acting in the way she did.
That's the fun answer.
That
the reasonable answer is probably she's having some type of psychotic episode. But
yes, very. When they did,
but let's go with it. She's possessed by a dolphin demon.
I don't know exactly how many medicines she was on. I think it was 3 or 4 prescriptions to help.
One thing I will say, speaking of the dolphin sex demon, where she ends up, it may have been
not funny. Not funny, Rob. Okay.
Sorry, it's a little foreshadowing there.
And during the autopsy, they did find that she was mostly current on her medication, but she was free of alcohol and narcotics, any type of illegal drugs. But there was one of her psychotropic drugs that she had not taken that day, I think is what they said during the autopsy.
Yeah, so anybody saying that, maybe she was high or under the influence, that kind of rules that out.
You're fucking lying.
Yeah.
You're making it all up.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think's pretty weird about this, she had a couple Twitter postings about a Canadian company. I'm going down the fucking rabbit hole right here, Rob.
I love it.
She had a couple postings on Twitter about a Canadian club Canadian research lab that specialized in cloaking capability.
Ooh, okay.
She released these articles, and she was. It made it seem like she was obviously researching something like this, but there was also CCTV footage of 2 men in black walking into the hotel that was released. I don't know if that's a hoax or not, but these fucking guys are exactly the same, exact same suits, top hats. They look like they have no eyes. They look like they have no hair, but they stroll in through the front door of the hotel. And it's one of those conspiracies that are kind of floating out there on the internet, but that kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that she was obviously interested in something kind of weird as far as, and this wasn't like an article like, hey, look at the good things this company is doing. It was more of an article like, hey, we found out this company's doing this. This is the kind of things they're hiding from you.
Okay.
And she did release that article. I'm sorry. One of the other, and she makes it up to the water tanks of the building on top.
Yeah, which is a really weird.
The only way to get up there, fire escapes. And the one way she was not going, I don't care what anybody says, there's an access door for maintenance.
Yeah.
That you has to use a key card to get through it. There's alarms on it. There's monitors and whistles. So if someone goes through it, someone at the front desk is going to know.
Unless someone that physically worked and had access there let her through.
Or someone physically took her up there and discarded her body.
Right.
The autopsy did say that she died from accidental drowning was the ultimate diagnosis for that.
Yeah, which is easy to tell because you're going to find water in the lungs.
Right. She did not go through the access door, so the only way that she would have made it up there would be the fire escapes. And for someone that doesn't know that hotel, I would assume would be a pretty hard thing to accomplish.
Yeah, you would think so. Especially if it was someone that was in the midst of a psychotic episode.
Yeah. Once she did get up the water tanks, she got in and she drowned and she died.
Which the water tanks are supposedly locked as well.
They're allegedly locked with a fucking heavy door on top.
Yeah, another thing that an actual employee or some type of a worker on the facility has a key for.
And the thing about the door on top was shut once she was inside of it. Which leads me to believe, and this one for me, I can debunk this rather quickly. I think someone had probably gone up there for, I would imagine routine checks were kind of the norm for that.
Yeah.
And they had probably went up there at some point while she was dead in there and did their checks and whatnot. And maybe someone
Here's fucking Joe slacking off again, leaving the door unlocked.
They closed the door and she was decomposing inside.
Right. They just didn't know.
And then how'd they find out about the body?
This is their water supply.
Right. That's the water supply. Someone called the front desk and reported there was a lot of guests that said, hey, the water. Hello, I'm staying in room 347 and I just made myself a nice glass of tap water. And I think it tastes kind of like someone might have taken a shit in the pipes, in my pipe for my tap water.
It tastes like a young Asian woman. I know what that tastes like.
I was going to chalk it up as the prior occupant of this room took a shit in the shower and waffle stomped it, and I'm getting kind of the remnants there. But the more I ran the water, I got some toenails and a hair tie that came out, and I think there's something wrong. That's us paraphrasing the exact call.
Yeah.
To the front desk.
That's on record.
Toenails, hair ties. That's what the underneath my bed looks like right now. It's nothing but toenails and fucking hair ties. They said the fucking water was tainted.
Yeah.
It was nasty. It tasted like taint. It was tainted and it tasted like taint.
Do women have taints?
I don't know. I've never had sex with I've never found anyone to make love to me with the lights on before, Rob.
Women, tell us if you have taints.
I watched a porno one time, and I know those guys got big old wieners. Do you know about that?
I know all about that.
Big old scary.
Not personally, but
big old scary wieners, and they'll put them anywhere you pay them to put them. And nasty shits. On February 19th, the body of Miss Lam was found in one of the 1,000-gallon tanks, which, like we said, provided water to the guests. The tank was drained and then cut open since the hatch was too small to get in the necessary equipment needed to recover the body. She'd been decomposing for somewhere around 2 weeks.
So she ballooned up in size.
Oh my God, that's the fucking nastiest thing. I've seen ballooned up bodies before.
Ugh.
And I got nothing for it. They
Not at all.
stink like shit. They stink like they eat fucking everything I used to eat as of a week ago. The toxicology report remains inconclusive and incomplete due to there not being enough blood present in her body. They had all of her drugs in it, not the prescriptions she was taking, but there's so many questions about her death
that are unanswered, completely unanswered. Because I mean, like we said, the only access that you would have had is if you physically worked there, had a key, had an access card or whatever it was, to get to that area. Unless you just have a lot of people who don't do their job well and lock the shit up that they're supposed to be checking afterwards. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the routine is for checking water tanks. I wouldn't think that they would do that often, but I mean, the fact that, if you are doing patrols and you see that a water tank is open, you would notice that.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, honestly. That's why a lot of people think that there's the conspiracy theory where it had to have been somebody that worked at the hotel that was involved.
Right, Men in Black.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
Yeah, but you don't know. It could be those guys.
And I'm reading here in the autopsy report, they found some pooling of blood around her rectum, which they thought might have been sexual abuse. It was not, because apparently when your body decomposes, your rectum prolapses. And anytime I get to talk about prolapsed rectums,
and this is for real, this isn't us being stupid and going on a tangent.
No, look it up. We got fucking research assistants and shit. They don't get paid, but they fucking do it. So
this is for real.
Talk to them. Jesus Christ. So that's the big wiener for Elisa Lam.
Yeah, it's a crazy one. And I still think, there's still a lot of people that talk about this one, and it's still kind of everybody wants to know what really happened.
Yeah. They never found her cell phone.
No.
They never, there was a film called Dark Water from 2005.
Yeah.
It was kind of loosely based on the Black Dahlia, but it was like, it was scary. It was so scary how close it was to this story, and it was released before this story. The movie was released before the story, and it's so scary, the resemblance between the two. And also, if you go back to our spiritual games and urban legends episode, you can learn about the elevator game.
Yeah, that I read about this too as well. They thought that maybe, when we were talking about how she was bent over pushing buttons, that she could have possibly been participating in the elevator game.
When you do the elevator game, you do a certain sequence of numbers on the keypad there. You go to all these different floors. But once you get to... You're supposed to do this in an empty building, and talking about this makes my fucking...
It has to be so tall because you have to go to specific floor numbers.
10 floors.
10 floors, yeah.
So you do all these button sequences, and you go to all these different floors. Eventually, you break the fucking space-time continuum.
Yeah, and a ghost person will come on the elevator with you.
A woman with hair in her face, like hair over her face, walks onto the elevator.
Think of The Ring.
Okay, she walks onto the elevator. She doesn't speak to you. She doesn't look at you.
You don't speak to her either.
Your instructions are don't speak to her.
Yeah.
Don't fucking look at her. And then eventually this button sequence takes you down to the first floor where you're supposed to leave the elevator and go on about your merry way, leaving this dark building behind you to be never spoke about ever again. Or there's the option to keep playing the game where you can ride back up to the 7th and 10th floors, and you can enter alternate dimensions when the fucking door opens. And at one point, it's said that she will look at you and say, "Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where are you going? My name's Bill Wilkins, and I'm going wherever the fuck I want. I'm sick of sitting here in my own shit on this stupid fucking elevator. You need to get a fucking haircut."
And don't talk to her. Don't do anything, because she will fucking possess you. That's the elevator game.
You'll take her home with you.
And you can go to our spiritual games episode. I think that's like episode 5 or 6.
Something like that.
Some back before we was not famous and shit.
It's rough. It's a hard life, like we said earlier.
Yeah. Man, I don't know about her.
All right, so I think that's all we have for Elisa. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. If you definitely get the chance,
go check out the video.
Yeah, look at the videos, because the videos are really crazy. The elevator videos are really weird. You'll also see pictures of the water tanks you'll see the water tanks and the stairs that lead up to them.
I will post the link.
Yeah,
in our episode description.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. That's the most recent. The most recent big story from the hotel. There's also other ones, like I spoke a little bit about serial killers being there. The big serial killer who, resided in the hotel, he actually stayed in the hotel for a while. This is Mr. Richard the Night Stalker Ramirez.
Is he the one that killed a bunch of people?
He definitely did.
Okay. Just make sure I was thinking of the same one.
So he actually stayed in the Cecil from 1984 to 1985. And this is during, the midst of his killing spree. So he lived on the top floor of the hotel during this time. This is a year's time. $14 a night rooms.
That's a fucking bargain.
You gotta love that.
He's a bargain hunter, man. Nothing wrong with that guy.
No, not at all. He's the OG coupon guy. So here's the thing. With these serial killers, obviously you can look into them if you don't know about them. I'm not going to go into their whole backstory.
No need to.
Because you could do an episode on each one of these people.
7-hour episode.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of go over their MO a little bit, just so you can kind of get an idea of how big of shitbags these guys are. So Richard Ramirez his MO was, he would break into people's houses, typically couples. He would hide in their closets until they would fall asleep. From there, he would come out holding a gun or another weapon. He would hold it to the man's head, rape the female, and then kill them both.
He's just here to fucking party.
Yeah, and the first mention, I think I've said this in another episode, I had no idea who Richard Ramirez was until Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirty.
when he's doing the sketches, the parent sketches. Yeah. He's like, Mom came out looking a little bit too butchy, like Richard Ramirez.
I didn't know anything about him really. I've never listened to a podcast on him before.
Yeah, there's tons of them out there.
I was reading about him, and apparently he made people when he would take him to the brink of death, fuck him up, and then he would leave. But before he would leave, he would say. He'd make him swear to Satan that they wouldn't like.
He was a big Satanist. He'd make him swear to Satan.
I swear to God, man, I ain't swear to no goddamn devil. I don't do that shit, man. I'm a country boy, man.
So he was known to use different weapons. So he would use guns, like I said. He used knives, hammers, tire irons, machetes. So he was all over the place. He didn't have a typical victim either. So, man, woman, child, it didn't matter. He would kill you regardless. So this actually made it, of course, pretty difficult for police to track him.
Yeah.
During his reign of terror, I'll say the people of Los Angeles were so scared during this time that residents wouldn't leave, their windows open, their doors unlocked. Women were actually told not to go out alone to prevent further attacks. And there was pretty much like an unofficial curfew in Los Angeles. So hey, don't go out when it's dark, or this may happen.
God, man.
Yeah, because they couldn't find him. They didn't know where he was coming from or anything.
A big thing around here when I was a kid, I always heard this rumor about checking under your car before you got in because there was someone going around that was just fucking stabbing people in the legs, just waiting under their car.
That's terrifying.
That is fucking terrifying. And
That's
I remember thinking as a kid, like, God damn, I'm not trying to get my fucking leg stabbed out. I'm going to check for this shit. So even still now to this day, when I'm walking up in my car, I'll kind of like tilt my head a little bit to look underneath of it. That and the
force of habit.
And the scene where in Ghostbusters where the pink blob forms and it like fucking grabs. I'm always worried that thing's when I'm closing my eyes to wash my hair in the shower, that thing's going to pop up and just take 2 inches, just all of it, take it all.
Later.
Yeah. Then I would have a flat spot if it took all that.
Yeah. Now, after the Night Stalker was caught, he was charged with 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. He was sentenced to death, but did die in prison from cancer, unfortunately.
Yeah, all kinds of shit wrong with him.
Yeah, what a fucking piece of shit.
I hope he fucking dies. Again.
Right. If you could just, get rid of the cancer just to fucking kill him again. So the next the known serial killer that we have here is a Johann Unterweger.
He was from Australia.
He was from Austria.
He was from Austria.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a big difference in the way they talk.
He was they called him Jack. I'm not going to call him Johann. I'm going to call him Jack.
So you're too fucking stupid to pronounce my name. Just call me Jack, please.
So he stayed in the Cecil. This was 1991. He was an Austrian journalist, not a journal.
He was a gerbil.
He was a gerbil. He was an Austrian journalist and author.
The rectal gerbil.
He was actually released earlier from prison for murdering a teenage girl while he was younger. So
no biggie.
He already had a little bit of a record. So
NVG.
He came to LA while he was researching a story about crime. He decided while he was in LA, it'd be a great idea to just start murdering sex workers.
Hacking people.
And this is while he was staying at the hotel. So what he would do is he would lead them to the room via the fire escapes. And he would actually beat, sexually assault, and strangle them with their own bra straps.
I was on the fire escape trying to take women up to my room to fuck them, and there was a crazy Cambodian woman running around like she was trying to go somewhere, like she was possibly possessed by something, and I said, hey, maybe you should go up to the water tanks and jump in. That would probably be best for you. Please stay away from me and my women when we're on the fire escapes.
I love that guy.
I'm sorry, Rob.
No, you're cool, man.
All right.
I like it. So he was actually sentenced as well to life in prison, not to death, but he eventually hanged, which I still don't like the word hanged. I've talked about this before. I think it should be hung.
Yeah.
He hanged himself in his cell the night of his sentencing.
He killed himself.
Yeah, once he got his life sentence, he was just like, yeah, I'm good on that.
He got dead.
So these fuckbags decided to kill themselves before we
got the chance to kill him.
We're lucky enough to kill him.
It's not fair, Rob.
It's just not. Why does this happen?
We need to do an episode about the death penalty and shit too. I think that'd be a good one. About people about death row shit.
I'm all for the death penalty.
Yeah, fuck it. Kill them all.
Yeah.
And I fucking read today, Trump said, we don't like to get political on this show, but Donald Trump said he's going to start seeing about the death penalty for the people that are dealing the heroin, the people that are dealing the opioids and shit that are killing people. He said, well, it's going to be great. It's going to be huge. We're going to kill all of them.
Huge.
It's going to be huge. I'm fine with that. Go ahead, Donald.
I think I'm fine with that too, in all honesty.
And that concludes our Cecil Hotel episode. I'm currently trying to make contact with our Julie Ho Patreon subscriber.
Yeah, we'll get her on here. We'll talk to her.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you guys.
Stick around for our short little interview here.
Yeah, we appreciate you listening. Like we said, we got a live show coming up. So if you're in the area, you're going to ticket from us. Be there. We'll meet you. Have a drink with you. Shove a beer up our ass.
I'm going to be wearing short shorts. We're butt chugging Zimas just like the old days.
Yep, just like we used to do.
Just like Grandpa used to do to me.
If not, join us. Join us next week. We'll be here. We don't know what we're doing. We'll figure it out eventually. And we probably won't let you know till the day of.
I think it's going to be aliens.
I'm ready for an alien story.
Right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
I'm here with Julie Ho. She's a Patreon subscriber. She joined the $50 club where she gets to pick her own episode, and she chose the Cecil Hotel. And Rob, I called him. I said, because Rob can't be here, so it's just the delicious Nicolicious here. You got me all by myself. Rob wants to know what made you pick the Cecil Hotel.
I've just been fascinated more so of, like, especially when Elisa Lam, that entire situation. I'm just wow, like, first of all, how does she end up in there if she can't even, like, that's just crazy, Did you watch the video when she's in the elevator? Yeah, I was like, okay, that's kind of like weird,
When she starts petting the imaginary dog, I got the heebie-jeebies. Like,
oh my gosh.
It was the scariest thing I've ever encountered in my entire life.
Yeah, I was like, why is, like, the elevator not closing?
Right.
First of all, that's weird.
Me and Rob just said it's a piece of shit elevator, and that they need a new one. That's just what you chalk that up to.
Maybe.
Now, do you live close to the Cecil Hotel?
No, I have visited LA.
Okay.
But I was way too much of a pansy to go there.
Right, and I'm thinking, like, as far as like a paranormal type tour, I would say that would be an awesome spot to, like, hang out for, a weekend or something like that. There's a lot of different rooms because you have the Night Stalker that stayed there, and then you have there's a room where I don't know how well versed you are in this place, but there's a room where a lady threw her baby out the window, and we talked about that. Yeah, there's one room where a lady, she bathroom, and she said it was a stillborn, and she threw it out the window.
Oh my God.
I know. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg of all the stuff that's happened there.
Imagine if you're just, walking around and then all of a sudden you feel like something like on your head, like, oh my God, what is that?
And yeah, and there was another, and we're putting this in after the main show, but there's another incident where we talk about it. There's a lady that jumps out of the window to commit suicide, and she lands on this fucking old man walking by down below, and she kills him and she kills herself.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
If you do ever find yourself there in the neighborhood, I would wear a hard hat, or I would just take the scenic route, go around the Cecil, because I'm I ain't trying to have people fall on top of me and shit, because that hurts. I have brothers, and I know what it feels like to have someone just fucking fall on top of you from like 20 feet up. It sucks.
Oh my god.
So, thank you. I just want to say thank you for being a Patreon pledger. We appreciate you so much, and we had a lot of fun doing the episode. And I'm glad you didn't pick some of these people that get to pick episodes. They're picking some really weird shit, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that or not. And you pulled through. You gave us an awesome topic, something we probably wouldn't have thought of by ourselves because we suck and we're stupid and we're not good at anything. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think I was just more interested in the how, especially like recently, I totally forgot her name. But the ones where I forgot what was her name. Oh, it started with a K, but she also died in a hotel.
Kim Kardashian.
Totally.
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
her.
that's fine. Kanye. If Kanye died, I'd be okay, but I'd be a little sad over Kim.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I think the like how they died aspect,
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's a whole other topic, but
Right. What do you think happened to Elisa?
Honestly, I think it was the government.
Really? Well, we talked about that. I said, Rob, we're going down the fucking rabbit hole, buddy. So hold on to your panties. But there was some footage of some men in black coming in around the time that all this happened. Just two guys that didn't look like they had hair. They were wearing sunglasses and top hats and suits, and they just walk in, and you don't really know what they do. And there's the aspect that she did some tweets about some cloaking, some things that happened in Canada, like the research facility that was covering. They were working on cloaking, like invisibility cloaks, and they were trying to work on, making those things. And she put out a tweet about that, like she uncovered it. She was it seemed like she was investigating it, and then lo and behold, this happens to her. So that's not far fetched to think that it could have been the government involved.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe so. Because it's like, how on earth would you even lift the lid of that,
And not to mention, after she got in and drowned, the lid got closed.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's the craziest part.
And I read a few parts that said that the lid was locked, like she needed fucking keys to get in it, which is bullshit.
I bet if I went up there, it probably wouldn't even be locked. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm very much in your train of thought there that people half-assed do their jobs, and that was probably fucking left open.
Yeah, most likely, because if she needed the keys, that or I don't even know.
I know.
I think getting into the water tank is the weird part.
Yeah. I don't smoke weed, but I need a whole lot of weed to understand this situation. So, don't you live in Washington State?
Yeah,
it's legal there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, nothing's legal in Ohio. Like you can't have sex with your cousins or anything. Everything's illegal here.
Oh boy,
I'm sorry. You knew what you signed up for, Julie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you live? So I've been to Seattle once. On like a baseball trip. I went to Safeco Field there. I'm not sure if it's even called Safeco before or not.
Yeah.
I went to Veretta Park, where Kurt Cobain used to sit and think about how terrible his fucking life is, or was. Which, have you ever been to Veretta Park before?
I have not. I've actually never heard of it.
It's right next to his house. There's a park. You can see his house from the park, but there's a bench that sits there, and he used to go sit on the bench and write songs. And now there's all kinds of celebrities, and anyone that passes through autographs the bench. So this bench has like hundreds of thousands of people's signatures on it. And when I went to it, you know, like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, you could see Fred Durst's signature on it. But there was a lot of, and I don't know how old you are, but Fred Durst is from Limp Bizkit. So I don't know if you know who Limp Bizkit is, but.
No, I'm way too young.
Oh my God. How old are you?
I just turned 22 back in February.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm talking to a fucking baby. I feel like I'm telling my 6-year-old to go to bed right now. You need to do your homework and brush your teeth.
Oh.
You've never heard of Limp Bizkit before?
Yeah, no, nope.
Oh my God.
I'm too young.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble now. You have to you've probably heard their songs before. You just got to go check out Limp Bizkit on the YouTubes there. Keep on rolling, baby. So thank you so much for talking to us and doing this interview. Is there any questions you have for me or for Rob Dog? I will answer for Rob Dog.
Wow, okay.
I'm flipping the script on you.
I don't think I have anything.
That's all right.
But no, I just love listening to your podcast. I kind of go in bursts because I don't listen to it for a long period of time to have something to listen for I don't know, the rest of the workday.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah, no, it's at work I'm just on the computer every single day, and then it's nothing else.
Do you have any other favorite podcasts you listen to?
There is one. It is called Adult Shit.
I've never heard of that, but it sounds like it's right up my fucking alley, though.
It's actually two girls talking about relationships.
Yeah, I've heard
sex
of them.
And stuff.
I've heard of them before. Yeah.
The two girls from BuzzFeed.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm gonna definitely check them out. I love BuzzFeed, so.
Yeah, they're really uncensored, just like you guys.
Hey, we're good Christian men that talk about. Never mind.
Oh man.
All right, Julie. Well, thanks for taking my call. I'm sorry. And that is where my microphone or my recording system took a huge shit. Sorry, Julie. She's gone. But thanks for listening, guys. I love you. Goodbye.